You are now watching Face to Face, live from the CSL studio. Your host, Nesta Can.
Welcome to another episode of Face to Face. Good afternoon. Yours truly, Nesta Can. And today we have a special guest in the studio. He goes by the name of Victor Dedaj. Dedaj. Sorry about that. What's going on, Victor?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Nesta?
What's going on? I'm very good. Tell us what's going on. What you've been up to? What you're working on?
I've been working on a whole bunch of different things. Life is good. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. Keeping busy. I just actually finished a chapter in a book with Jack Canfield, which is coming out in a couple weeks, called Success Breakthroughs. Now, some of you may know Jack as the co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul book series, and he's written many other books such as The Power of Focus and The Success Principles. So it'll be coming out August 16th on Amazon. I will be one of his co-authors, and I will have a chapter in that book. So I'm really excited about that coming out.
Oh, wow. So you're a certified, Canfield trainer?
Yeah, I'm certified by Jack Canfield in the Success Principles, and I'm actually working on being certified by him in the Canfield methodology, which will hopefully happen this September, in which I'll be certified using the methods he uses for teaching the principles of success.
Nice. So is there like a message in your book that you hope the readers will grasp?
Well, what I really hope people understand is no matter where you come from, if you really apply the principles of success, if you work at it, if you develop the proper mindset, if you surround yourself with successful people and you don't give up and you persevere, you can accomplish pretty much anything. So no matter where you come from, I've seen so many people, some of my mentors grew up in the gangs in California and they've made 7 figures. So
wow.
If they can do it, pretty much anyone can.
Yeah. Are you from California originally?
No, I'm from New York City, but a couple of my mentors are from California. So one of the great things about being an entrepreneur is you can meet people from all over the world.
Yeah, definitely. Did you go to school for business?
Yeah, I actually have a business degree. And I worked in the corporate world for many years, and then I was let go about 5 years ago, and then I decided to work as an entrepreneur and work from home because I always had that desire for years.
Right. So how long have you worked in the corporate world? How long?
Close to 2 decades.
So you didn't you want to become more of an entrepreneur after a while, right?
Yeah, after a while. I realized that was really what I wanted to do. I was feeling like I was in a rut after a number of years in the corporate world. I learned a lot of great things there, and I made a lot of great friends, but after a while, I think it was time to move on and try something different, and I never looked back.
Oh, wow. So tell us a little bit more about the business you've built. Because I was reading more about the business that you built. You were talking about that a little bit, so...
Yes, I've done several things. One of the things I've done is I've done some network marketing, which is good. Network marketing gets me a lot of great people, and you get to influence a lot of people's lives. And one of the great things about it also is that it helps you work on your mindset and your personal development, because that is crucial for being successful. If you don't have that personal development and the mindset, it's going to be very hard to succeed. Even if you get some money, you'll find a way to blow it, which is why most lottery winners are broke within 5 years, because they don't have that mindset for keeping the wealth. So it's very important to do that. And Jim Rohn once said, work harder on your job, work harder on yourself than on your job, because if you work hard on your job, you can make a living. But if you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune. So personal development is something I've been working on the last 5 years, and it's a never-ending process because there's always more to learn. So I think if you're always a student of learning, if you're always trying to learn more, you will be successful. Once you think you know everything, that's when you get into trouble.
Yeah.
So, and some of the other things I've done, I've worked in e-commerce, I've done affiliate marketing, and I've been now going into public speaking. That's a new field I'm really getting into. So I'm really excited about sharing what I've learned with other people and trying to inspire them and motivate them.
How is the public speaking going? Have you done anything big, like any places, New York City?
I've spoken at a number of events right now, and I'm working now on trying to go to more events. This is, again, something pretty new with me, but that's going to be my focus for the next year. I want to start speaking at more events and trying to influence as many people as possible. So it's still pretty new for me.
Nice. So this book, what was the hardest part of writing this book?
I mean, the book that I personally wrote?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, it's called You Can Become Successful. And here's the thing. Most people want to write a book.
Right.
But they're afraid to. They're afraid no one will want to read it. No one will care for it. But the thing is, you don't know who will be inspired by that book. So the hardest thing is just to get at it, to start writing it. But once you start writing, once you take action on it, once I started working on it, But I just kept working on it. So you build that momentum. It's overcoming that fear. A lot of people are fearful of writing the book because they think what they write will not be appreciated by people. People might laugh at them. But the truth is, when you write a book, people will see you as a person of credibility. They'll see you as an expert in that field because most people actually don't have the courage to write the book. They say over 80% of people want to write a book, but they never get to write it. So I would just recommend, just start working on the books, write it, and get the book out. And here's the thing. You can always update the book later on. You can always come out with a second edition a year or two later.
Right.
And you don't have to worry these days about getting a publisher. You can self-publish on Amazon. That's what I did.
Oh, wow. I never knew that.
Yeah, they have something called Create Space. So you can, if you want to write a book, you can self-publish through Amazon, and Amazon will print out the book whenever someone orders it. So you don't have to worry about if you have 1,000 copies and most of them haven't sold. Amazon will print out the copy as soon as someone places an order. So it's great. So you don't have to worry about a publisher. I mean, as you get bigger and more famous, then you can get your own publisher. But starting out, you can self-publish.
Oh, that's neat. I never knew about that. Great information to know. So what inspires you to write? What inspires you to write?
Again, I always felt that I wanted to inspire people, and I believe that one way to do that is by writing. When people read about your story, they can identify with you more, because everyone has a story to share.
Right.
And so I believe one of the best ways to do that is to write a book and get it out and influence people. And I've gotten a lot of good reviews for my book, and it's encouraged me to do some more writing. So I've written chapters in other people's books, and I definitely plan on writing a second book, because when someone tells you that they got a lot of value from your book and it really inspired them to do more with their lives, when you hear stuff like that, it really makes you feel good. It makes you realize you are helping other people, and that's one of the best feelings in the world.
Nice. So how often do you normally write? How often?
Again, this is something I just started writing recently.
Okay.
My first book came out last year, so I'm hoping to have one out next year, so I'll probably start writing it soon. And the Jack Canfield book is coming out in a couple of weeks, as I mentioned earlier, so I have a chapter in that. One of my other mentors, his name is Nate O'Brien. He lives out in California. He has a book coming out in a few weeks called Dating Destiny, and I have a chapter in that book which deals with the importance of mindset, because, as I mentioned earlier, mindset is crucial to succeeding, because it's not enough to know what to do. Because if you don't have that, if you have limiting beliefs and you don't believe you're capable of doing it, you won't take the actions to do it. Because when you think about it this way, most people know what they need to do to lose weight.
Right.
You eat fewer calories, you eat better food, you exercise more. But many of those people that want to lose weight don't lose it. And part is because they have those limiting beliefs, that limited mindset. So once you conquer yourself, you can conquer pretty much anything. So it's important to do the personal development, get that proper mindset, believe in yourself more, overcome those limiting beliefs, and then learn the technical stuff. They go hand in hand. You do those things, get the proper mindset, take action, and learn what you need to do. All those things together will lead to success.
Right. So this book right here, how long did it take you to write the book, to finish it up, to complete it?
It took me several months, probably about 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, so it's not that long.
No, it's not that long. And, when I felt inspired, I wrote in it. So I try to write a little bit each week.
Right, there we go.
Here's the thing. I think sometimes people get overwhelmed because they think they have to do everything all at once. You just chunk it down. You could write, for example, if you have a book that's 20 chapters, then maybe write 1 chapter a week. So you can do it over the course of 20 weeks. So don't be overwhelmed by the fact you have to write 150 pages or 200. Just focus on the fact maybe I write 10 pages this week, 10 pages next week. It's called chunking down, breaking it, into smaller tasks. Because you know the riddle. How do you eat an elephant? The answer is 1 bite at a time.
Okay.
That's how you do it. You can't eat the elephant all at once.
Right.
And that's the way you do a book. 1 chapter at a time. 5 pages at a time. So anything you do, you can break it down, chunk it down into smaller tasks. When you do it like that, it doesn't seem overwhelming.
So have you experienced writer's block?
Not yet, thankfully. Other people have, but no, I've not. When I felt like writing, I write. And it's the thing: you start writing, and then you go with what you wrote before. So some things you take out. So just start writing. Just do free writing. Just when you feel inspired, just start writing. The more you write, the more ideas come out. So don't think like I need to just write the perfect 2 pages. Just write what comes to your heart, what comes to your mind, and then later you can go over what you wrote and say, okay, I'll take this paragraph out.
Okay. How much of yourself do you put into your book?
I try to put a good amount of myself in there, because when you share more of yourself, people can identify with you more. Because there's a saying that stories sell, facts sell, but stories sell. Because the more you share of yourself, the more people can identify with you. If you share, for example, that you struggled, that you went through bad times and you failed sometimes and you overcame those struggles, people can identify with you. So sometimes people look at these stars, like some of these celebrities who've made tens of millions of dollars, they think, wow, this person just always had it easy. But if you look behind the scenes, you'll see most of those people struggled for many years before they hit it big, but they never gave up.
Right.
And most of the people I've seen have gone through struggles. I've gone through my share of struggles. I've gone through struggles in my entrepreneurial journey. I've had my failures. I've joined several businesses. I failed in a bunch of them, but I never gave up. And I persevered. I learned from my mistakes. I got mentors who taught me how to do things better, what things to avoid. And here's the thing: you're not a failure unless you give up. If you persevere, keep going at it, never give up, and learn from your mistakes, you will eventually succeed.
Yeah. Talking about your mentors, who are some of your favorite authors?
In terms of my personal development, I'm going to Jack Canfield's one of them. He's a great author. Brian Tracy's another good one. Tony Robbins has written some great books. Jim Rohn, Napoleon Hill with his Think and Grow Rich.
Right. When you say Jim Rohn, I'm thinking Jim Rohn, the guy who does the sports podcast, but it's probably another Jim Rohn.
It's a different one. Yeah, this guy was a businessman and a motivational speaker. He influenced many people.
Wow. All right. Over the years, what would you say is most improved in your writing?
Well,
I know you just started, so.
Yeah, well, again, one thing I've learned is to share more of myself with people. You can share the tips, the things people need to do to succeed. That's very important, but I think it's also very important to share more of yourself so people can relate to you more. People really want someone they can relate to because they feel like you're one of them. They can form a bond with you. And I realize that from many of the books I read, when the person shares more of their story, what they went through, their struggles, and how they overcame those things, I feel like this person is one of us.
Right.
It's not someone who's like like a mile above me who I can never reach. I'm like, okay, this person's done it. I can do it too.
Yeah. Speaking about your book, do you believe that the book cover plays a lot in selling, like the front cover of the book?
It can definitely help.
It definitely help.
A nice book cover can definitely help. Sometimes I've read statistics that sometimes there have been books that didn't sell when they first came out,
right,
and then a year or two later they just changed the cover. Not only changing the cover, but changing the title. And by doing a couple of those little changes, it just took off.
So did you design that, or did Amazon, remember we talked about Amazon, did they take care of all of that as well?
I use Amazon to create it. The picture I had done by one of my photographers, so it was a picture of me. It was taken in Midtown Manhattan.
Okay.
And the rest of the cover was I did it through Amazon.
All right. Did you have a book signing? You ever had any book signings yet?
Not yet, but that's something I'm thinking of doing.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What books are you reading right now? What books are you into? I know you're reading Jack Canfield, you said?
Yeah, I always like to go back to the Success Principles book. It's one of my favorite books on success. I read a lot of nonfiction.
How about Rich Dad, Poor Dad? You're familiar with that?
Yeah, Robert Kiyosaki. It's a great book. I highly recommend that for everyone. And this Cash Flow Quadrant, anything by Kiyosaki, I highly recommend it. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is an excellent book. So,
right.
No, I try to read as much as possible because there are a couple sayings that readers are leaders and learners are earners. So the more you read, the more you can just learn one or two things that can change your business. A lot of people don't know this, but the average CEO reads about 4 to 5 books a month.
Oh wow!
I
never knew that.
Yeah, so they read, that's like 50 to 60 books a year. The average person reads about 1 book a year. So there's a big reason why CEOs are more successful than most other people. So try to read as much as possible. And if you can't really read, like some people, for example, are dyslexic, they have trouble with reading, so they have audiobooks on YouTube now. So you can listen to these books on the internet. So try to learn as much as possible because it can make a big difference in your life.
Well, they said if you have any information, just put it in a book, kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. put
good
it in a
information. They say put it in a book to hide it from certain people. Yeah.
any information, put it in a book. You can put it on videos. Videos are very, very big right now. Everything's going the way of video right now. Facebook has its Facebook Live videos. YouTube is big. So even Instagram has a little short video. So a great way to get your content out to people is definitely through videos. It's becoming more and more popular, and people love watching videos and listening to them.
Right. So on your free time, what else do you do besides reading?
Well, one of the things I call myself is a foodpreneur. I love to eat food. One of my favorite sayings is "food determines mood."
Yeah.
Because I know when I'm hungry, I feel very cranky, but once I have some food in me, I'm the most pleasant person in the world to be with. And one of the great things about living in New York City is there's so many different great ethnic cuisines you can try. So we have and there are like dozens and dozens of different types of cuisines you can try. So try food from Asia, you can try food from South America, Europe, Africa, etc. There's so many great cuisines to try. And if you use Yelp, you can just find so many good restaurants that are 4-star rated and above. So
Yelp
I
is
use
pretty popular right now.
I love using Yelp. I use it all the time. So this way I get to find places I've never been to before, or restaurants that just open up that are hidden gems that you can go to that are not crowded yet.
Right. Are you satisfied with your success so far?
Yes, I am, but you can always do more. I realize I can do a lot more in my life, but I've seen over the last 5 years, I've definitely come a long way. I've done a lot of great things. I've accomplished a lot. I've succeeded, and I realize there's just so much more I can do in my life. So I'm happy, but I'm also hungry.
You're hungry.
Les Brown says you got to be hungry.
Yeah. Mentoring. Are you mentoring anybody right now, as far as like any of the young guys, young kids?
Yeah, I'm mentoring
adults?
a few people right now. I think it's very important to, again, I want to inspire people and motivate them to do, realize they can do so much more with their life. Just like my mentors have taught me a lot, so I want to try to inspire as many people as I can, and I try to teach people. I try to teach people on mentoring what they can do with their life and realize they have a lot in them. But I also try to keep them accountable. I think that's very important because, especially if you're working for yourself, it's very easy to get distracted and not do anything. When you're at a regular 9-to-5 job, your boss holds you accountable. If you don't do your job, you get into trouble, you get fired.
Right.
But when you work for yourself, it's easy just to take off a few days and not do anything. But the thing is, if you don't do work, you're not going to get any results. You won't make any money. So I think a mentor is one role of a mentor is to hold the people they're mentoring accountable.
Right. So 2 things. Any advice you would give any up-and-coming or aspiring writers and entrepreneurs?
Okay, in terms of writers, I would just say if you want to write, just start writing. That's the best thing I can recommend. Just write as much as you can, and don't worry about how it looks at first, because you can always go back and make changes on it.
Right.
And the other thing is, and again, as I mentioned before, you can self-publish your book. It's probably a good idea also to maybe have 2 or 3 people, after you finish your book, have a couple people proof it, read through it, and maybe give you some suggestions as to what to take out or how to change the format a little bit. So it's good to have a couple of people proofread it. So that's one thing I would definitely recommend. But I would just say focus on getting the book out. Just do it, and when the book comes out, people are going to be really impressed with you because you're a person who will have more credibility now. They say you can't be an authority without being an author. Because think about it this way. You go to some party, you meet some woman, you ask her, what do you do? And she says, I just wrote a book on nutrition. Automatically you think, wow, she's an expert on nutrition.
Right.
So if you say, I say, my name is Victor, I'm an entrepreneur, I wrote a book on becoming successful, the person's going to think, this person is an authority on being successful. So when you tell someone you've written a book on a particular subject, they will think that you're an expert, that you're an authority on that subject. So it really adds to your branding and credibility.
Right. And as far as entrepreneurs, any advice for young entrepreneurs?
Yeah, for entrepreneurs, I would say
because a lot of people, they find it kind of hard just quitting their 9-to-5 and just starting their own business. Some people recommend that they don't quit your job right away, that you ease your way into your own business. What do you have to say about that?
I would have to agree with that. I would say in general, for the vast majority of people, it's better to start part-time, keep your regular 9-to-5 job because you're having steady income coming in.
Right.
So work on your. If you want to be an entrepreneur, do it part-time. You can do it 15 to 20 hours a week and slowly build it up. And as you continue to grow and build up, eventually you can do it full-time and then leave your current job. Yeah, but I would say that's economically speaking, the best way to do it is to do it on the side, doing the evenings and on the weekends, until because you don't know how long it will take. It sometimes can take a year or 2 or 3. So
Yeah.
if you don't have income coming in for a couple of years, for example, it can be really difficult. So I would recommend it's good to have some income coming in. And here's the other thing. You won't feel as much pressure.
Right.
So you can continue to grow, to develop. And the other thing I would recommend is when you start off, try to get yourself a mentor as soon as possible. The mentor will save you so much trial and error and agony and frustrations. And when I first started, I didn't have a mentor, and I made so many stupid mistakes, which when I got a mentor later on, I didn't make later on. So make the investment, get yourself a mentor. It's going to save you so much hassle. It's going to get you to success much more quickly. When you're thinking about it this way, the best athletes in the world all have coaches. LeBron James has a coach. Steph Curry has a coach. Serena Williams has a coach. So they know the importance of a coach. If these people know the importance, you who don't know much, trying to do a new field, you definitely should get yourself some sort of trainer or coach, a mentor.
So before we wrap it up, we're going to have you tell the audience basically how they can reach you, contact you, whether you have social media, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all that stuff. I know you're probably not on all of them, but any other message you would like to let people know about you, Victor?
Sure.
And what you're doing?
Yeah, sure. So if you want to reach me, number one, you can go to my website, victordedaj.com. That's VICTORDEDAJ.com.
Right.
You can also reach out to me on Facebook, facebook.victordedaj.com, Twitter at Victor Dedaj, Instagram also at Victor Dedaj.
How do you spell that, Dedaj?
D as in David, E as in Eddie, D as in David again, A as in Apple, J as in James. So it's Victor Dedaj. They're all one word in all those different social media. And I'm also on Pinterest again, Victor Dedaj.
Yeah.
And you can also email me at victordedaj@victordedaj.org. I look forward to hearing from you. And so those are the way you can reach me, and I always respond to people. There won't be a virtual assistant responding. It'll be me personally if you reach out to me, because I love to interact with people. Because people, that's the other thing. If someone reaches out to you, someone likes your post on social media, I think it's very important to acknowledge them. So I try to respond to them as much as possible.
Right.
So wishing me a happy birthday, I will respond and say thank you for wishing me a happy birthday. A lot of people don't.
Yeah, they don't.
And little things like that people appreciate. So I think it's very important that relations are a crucial part of being an entrepreneur, because people are only going to work with people who they know, like, and trust.
Right.
So you really have to take the time to get to know people better, show them that you care. If you only reach out to people when you try to get money from them or try to get them to join your business, people are not stupid. They're going to see right through it, and they're not going to join. So it's really important to build that relationship, help people out as much as you can, give them a lot of value, and just be nice to them. All those things in the long run will help you so much. Be truly interested in them.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people, I think as you go higher up in the scale, a lot of these celebrities, they're not controlling their own social media pages. So this most of the times when people are, reaching out to them or, wishing them happy birthday or making a comment, dropping them a comment, they don't respond because, first of all, they're too busy and so many people are, hitting them up. And sometimes I heard they don't really control their own social media pages. Someone controlling it for them. So it's good to know that, you actually control yours and you actually respond back. So that's a good thing.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, Victor. It was a pleasure having you on the show today.
Oh, it was great being here, Nestor. It was great. I had a lot of fun here, and it was a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah,
thanks for having me.
I wish you the best, and hopefully we have you on the show in the future, and you'll have like hundreds of books, and you'll be doing a whole bunch of big things and making a lot of money, and, mentoring a whole bunch of people.
Sounds good. Definitely. I look forward to being with you here sometime in the future.
All right. So that wraps up another episode of Face to Face. Yours truly, Nestor Can. Take care and God bless.